I've had such a tiring week past that I was going to pass up this opportunity to talk about the Declaration of Independence, but I've gotten some feedback from others about the Declaration of Independence that was so confused that I felt like it was more than important to talk about the Declaration of Independence. The problem that we have understanding the Declaration of Independence is that we get hooked on these um, phrases that really don't mean a whole lot to the Declaration of Independence and why and what we declared our independence and what we were expecting when we did declare our independence, like all men are created equal. And there are even people who wanted um, Jefferson to put different things about slavery into the Declaration of Independence. And actually, that would have been totally inappropriate because what was uh, the way the Declaration of Independence is structured, they basically have a litany of grievances against the British Crown um, that they use to basically support their decision to declare their independence and sever from um, Great Britain. But all that stuff is just fluff, really. You don't get to the real um, reasoning for their severance and what they were expecting until the last paragraph. So they put all that stuff in there to show that why it was necessary for them to sever from um, the state of Great Britain and become sovereign states themselves. Um, but, and actually, if you overlook some of those things, it's as bad or worse today in America for those some of the same things, especially with taxation, where there is no direct connection between taxation and collective services that are being paid for by that taxation and who makes the decisions. And that was a huge thing in the Declaration of Independence for why they declared their independence from the state of Great Britain, because the taxation really didn't have any connection with what they were doing there in America versus them being extorted really um, for their wealth and having it sent back to Britain. But if you actually look at the last paragraph, it tells you everything about how and why they severed from Great Britain. And the first thing it says is that they met in a general Congress. What it says is we, the delegates of the small United States of America, not the capital United States of America, which is the name of the country, because they didn't even name the country the United States of America till 2 years after the Declaration of Independence, in General Congress assembled. Okay, and it's a General Congress because it's not a legislative assembly. It's only a meeting of the states or the colonies, and they consider themselves to be both. Um, and they met to discuss matters of a common interest. And that common interest this time was severance from the state of Great Britain. And then it goes on to say that they basically severed from the state of Great Britain to have the sovereignty to make the decisions of a free and independent state, which are to levy war, to conclude peace, to contract alliances, to establish commerce, and to do anything else that a free and independent state by right could do. That's why they declared their independence. And when they did that together, what they did was they formed a confederacy because they were Confederates, because they were states joined in a common cause against a common enemy, but they did not have any way to make collective decisions to work together, even to fight the Revolutionary War. They didn't have any structure, and that's why they had to quickly write. And when I say quickly, they started writing the Articles of Confederation immediately, even in, I think in the month of July of 1776, to give that structure to how the states would interact with each other and how they collectively would interact with foreign nations. And that's what government is all about. And so we can sit up here and be, think it was some utopian moment or something like that, and that we individually got freedoms by the Declaration of Independence, but that's not even close to the case. The reality is that the states declared their independence for the sovereignty to make their own decisions. And these are collective decisions, the collective decisions of a state, a free and independent state, which is the people, which is collective, not individual persons. So when we talk about the first part where it says all men are created equal, that's not what they declared their independence for. Not for this equality of people. That's not even close. They declared their independence for sovereignty to make decisions that a free and independent state by right was entitled to make. And when they joined together into a union, then the free and independent state became the country, the union, which was assembled by each individual state, ceding some sovereignty of their own to be part of the collective. And the residual sovereignty that each state has is in their one vote in a democratic assembly, which is what a Confederate assembly and Congress is. It's a democratic assembly, one vote per state, and a majority of the states is necessary to the choice. Whether it be a simple majority or a 2/3 majority or a unanimous consensus, they all still have one equal vote per state. And that's why it's a democracy. And I'll talk about democracy next, because we don't understand democracy at all. And until we do, we will still have this mess that we claim as a democracy, but isn't anywhere close. Thanks.